Hello children, I'm back again. This is Miss Anne here. We're going to have a review on Christian religious studies. On the screen, you can see the topics we treated this second term. Being God's children, God showed his love to us, the Good Samaritan, the feeding of 5,000, the triumphal entry, the death and suffering of Jesus Christ. Now let's take it one after the other. Being God's children. How can we be God's children? What are those things we can do to show that we are God's children? We use Abraham as an example. God told Abraham to take his family and move to an unknown country. It was a difficult thing to do, but Abraham obeyed God. When he obeyed God, God made him a promise. And that promise was he's going to be the father of all nations. Because he obeyed God and God fulfilled that promise. God shows his love to us. How do we know that God shows us his love? How? We know because he takes care of us by giving us life. He protects us and our families. He provides food, shelter, and clothes for us. There are so many ways he shows us love. The list is inexhaustible. The list is so much. We can never list them all. What God does for us to show us that he loves us is so much. The Good Samaritan. Do you remember the story of the Good Samaritan? Do you still remember? This story was about a traveler who met thieves on his way. They took everything he had. Everything he had, they took it away. They took them away. They injured him and left him to die. Two people passed him first. One of those people that passed him was a priest. They did not help him, including the priest. But when the Samaritan was passing by, he saw him and took care of him. He even took him to a hotel where he stayed and got healed. The Good Samaritan even paid money and even told the owner of the hotel. The Bible calls it inn. Inn is a hotel. The Samaritan even told the owner of the hotel that any bill that's going to arrive from that man staying in his hotel, he should keep that bill till he comes back again. He's going to pay. What a wonderful story. What a wonderful story. What we learn from this topic is that Jesus is always there to help us. And he wants us to help people who may need our help. Now let's look at the feeding of the 5,000. The feeding of the 5,000. This was the story of Jesus Christ and how he fed 5,000 people. Jesus went about doing good and performing many miracles, which made so many people to follow him because they want to know more about him. He later went up to a mountain with his disciples. Sorry. The people were very hungry. They were very hungry. And Jesus did not know what to do. As he was there, looking around, discussing with the disciples on what to do, one of the disciples, Andrew, saw a little boy who has 5 loaves of bread and fishes. He told Jesus, And Jesus miraculously multiplied the 5 loaves of bread and 2 fishes, which they shared to the crowd. Just 5 loaves and 2 fishes. Wow, wonderful. To 5,000 people. What a miracle. By the time these 5,000 people finished eating, there was 12 baskets of leftover. There was 12 baskets of leftover food. It's really wonderful. It teaches us to always give, because when we give, we have more. Another thing this story teaches us is that God is always there to provide for us. God is always there to provide for us. The triumphal entry. The triumphal entry. When Jesus approached Mount Olives, which is close to Jerusalem, he sent his disciples into the village to get a donkey. He even told them exactly where they will find it. When they brought it, do you know what the people did? The disciples and all the people, they laid their coats on them. And Jesus rode into Jerusalem triumphantly. Now let's talk about the death and suffering of Jesus Christ. The death and suffering of Jesus Christ. Do we know how death came to this earth? Do we know? It came because the first man and woman that God created, Adam and Eve, they disobeyed God. They brought sin into the world. And because they brought sin into the world, God had to send his son, Jesus Christ, to die for our sin. Though Jesus, a good man who did nothing, he did no wrong, he is a righteous man, but he agreed to obey his Father. But you know what happened? Though a good man that has no sin, Jesus Iscariot betrayed him. He was terribly beaten and injured. And he bled. Yes, Jesus bled. He was bleeding for a long time. Even when they nailed him on the cross, he still told his Father, God, to forgive them. He told his Father, God, to forgive them, because they do not know what they do. Jesus shed his blood on the cross of Calvary to save us from sin and to make us his children. And after the 3rd day, he arose from the dead. Wow, what a lovely story. What a lovely story. Now here comes the end of our review on Christian religious studies. Let's go back to our notes. Read our notes again. We can also listen to the voice notes again. And I am going to forward a question to your parents. Please, my pupils, do attempt these questions. Write the answers in your notes. I want to see the answers in your notes when we are back physically in the classroom. I promise all of you, you're going to get a reward for good work. Don't forget, once again, write your answers neatly and correctly. Thank you and bye for now.